Now, let us assemble the two sections and begin our experiments. In the first experiment, we can observe the moon rotating in the anti-clockwise direction when at rest. Even after it begins to orbit the Earth, its rotation is clearly visible to all of us. This is because its rotational direction is diametrically opposite to its orbital direction. Let us repeat the experiment by manually rotating the moon in the anti-clockwise direction. Now, the moon has rotated and orbited by 180 degrees approximately. Now the moon has rotated and orbited by 270 degrees approximately. Now the moon has simultaneously completed one full rotation in the anti-clockwise direction and also one full orbit in the anti-clockwise direction. In this instance, the entire surface of the moon will be visible from both the Earth and also from outside the moon's orbital path. Please note that videos of similar practical experiments illustrating the moon's rotation cannot be found anywhere on the internet, including the websites of the various astronomical societies as well as space agencies. Only animations and written material can be found on this important subject. Really strange, isn't it? In the second experiment, the moon motor remains switched off and we can observe that the reference arrow on the moon is always pointing towards the Earth's center, both when it is at rest and also when it's orbiting the Earth, which means that it is not rotating. In this instance, only one side of the moon will be visible from the Earth, whereas all its sides will be visible from outside the moon's orbital path. Please note that as per current theory, the moon in this case is rotating once in the anti-clockwise direction, which is contrary to what we have just observed. Now, let us try to find the reason behind this misconception by taking out the moon and moving it in this manner. Yes, now the moon appears to be rotating. However, this type of illustration is absolutely wrong because the moment we have separated the moon from the motor, it has lost its normal orbital motion. Now, let us see what normal orbital motion is. This is normal orbital motion. Here, the exact same motion is naturally achieved without the moon rotating by even a single degree. Now, let us observe the motion of both the Earth and the moon. Everyone will agree that the Earth has definitely rotated once on its center of axis. So, how can this also be one rotation? It is one orbit. It should never be considered as one rotation. In the third experiment, we can observe the moon rotating in the clockwise direction when at rest. However, as soon as it begins to orbit the Earth, it suddenly appears to stop rotating and the arrow is always pointing downwards. The moment it stops orbiting the Earth, it suddenly appears to start rotating again. This illusion occurs because the inclination caused by the moon's advancement in its orbital path is offset by the same amount of simultaneous inclination in the same direction caused by the moon's clockwise rotation, which we can observe now. Now it has rotated and orbited by 180 degrees. Now it has rotated and orbited by 270 degrees. Now it has simultaneously completed one full rotation in the clockwise direction and also one full orbit in the anti-clockwise direction. In this instance, the entire surface of the Moon will be visible from the Earth, whereas only one side will be visible from outside the Moon's orbital path. Please note that as per current theory, this is a non-rotating Moon, which is again contrary to what we have just observed. Now, let us try to find out the reason behind this misconception by taking out the Moon and moving it in this manner. Although it appears that it is not rotating, the moment it is placed back on the motor and moved around the Earth, its rotation in the clockwise direction clearly becomes visible. That is why all sides of the Moon will be visible from the Earth in this case.